My name is Sahar Palmer, and I describe what I do as a personal mentor. In my definition, a personal mentor is someone that can bring their knowledge, their experience, if you will, their expertise into a client's situation because they can look at it objectively, and that allows them to be resourceful and help the client see their way through the maze that they feel they're in. The tools that I bring are holistic because they spring from my own experience. My personal background is civil engineering, so that taught me a lot about structure and logic. And then I went into marketing and brand management, so that brings the commercial business side into it. I later developed my psychic ability, and I worked as an intuitive for a very long time. And it wasn't really about prediction, it was more about how do I make that future happen. And I grew with my clients because they kept asking me how come certain things happened and certain things have not happened. So I looked into self-development. To answer these questions. What tool do we need to become unstuck, to see the way forward? So I later went into life coaching. I also did a 4-year holistic therapy course. So that, I think my background, my experience, the kind of life that I had or went through, equips me, if you will, to feel what a client does, to be able to relate to their situation and therefore be able to bring the right tools to help them move forward. Most clients, although we're all individuals and very different individuals, but we mostly go through the same thing. A job change, a country change, a personal crisis, loss of a loved one. So it depends what the client is going through. Are they feeling an emotion, or is it a past belief that is holding them back? So I look at it holistically, meaning you bring the mind, the body, the emotions into it. But through my experience, I've developed my own methodology which I call Ketheric Well Being. Ketheric Well Being relates to the Ketheric layer of the human energy field, and it's the most resilient layer. So the implication here is, what can you learn? How can you become aware so that you become more resilient in dealing with your life? So it depends what the aspect is. Do they need to change a belief system? Do they need to process an emotion that is holding them back? Or is it simply holding themselves accountable to what they did or did not do? And I think there is something empowering about holding yourself accountable. It's not as scary as one might think. So in the Ketheric Well-Being, we talk about Bima, which is body, what is going on with your physical body. E for emotions, what's going on, emotionally. M, what's going on mentally. And finally, what action have you taken or not taken, which is really about holding yourself accountable. So I bring these 4 dimensions into it, and then I gauge, as I work with the client, what area do they need support, and then to see what tool would be right for them. Sometimes it could be simply as pointing something out that they haven't thought of. And then suddenly they feel empowered. Well, now I know what the problem is, then I can move forward. I would say what makes me different from other mentors or therapists is 2 things. One is my own journey, because everyone is special, but everyone brings in their own wisdom into it. So that makes me different. What makes me different is the path that I went through, that I'm able to bring things in a commercial sense, business sense, a holistic sense, emotional sense. So I can bring a lot from this bag depending on what the client needs. The reason that I do what I do is probably because of the saying that the wounded make the best healers. I think because of the life path that I went through a crisis at some point in my life where I felt totally lost and could not relate to anyone individual specifically who can help. Because what happens when you ask your friends, relatives, or therapists, everyone would see the situation from their point of view. If you went to a psychologist, for example, they would diagnose you. But what if I didn't have a mental illness? If you went to a friend, they will project their own personal opinion. And I just kept asking myself a lot of questions, and that was the motivation to study what I did and to do what I did. And I worked as a psychic for many years. In fact, I was nominated as one of the best 100 psychics in the world. But it's not about the psychic thing. What was the challenge for me is to be able to perceive a situation. So that helped me develop, if you will, as a therapist, that I'm able to relate to someone as they talk to me, when we meet in the session, and that gives me a sense of what the problem is. A client would come and see me when they are stuck at whatever level in their life. It could be a minor issue. I have clients who just come in once every few years, and that's what's a problem for them. It could be someone who's looking to develop their own sense of awareness, their own sense of self. My slogan on the website is "Find yourself, live your life." And I think if we know who we are, then we know how to act and how to get what we want in life.